The power of the light. What really is light? Honestly, we don't know. Nobody knows. Anybody that claims to know what light really is either a fool or they're lying to you. This video here is about the power of the light. So even if we don't know exactly what light really is or how it works, we can attest and we can observe directly its power and influence. This is not a metaphor. This is not a simile. This is not an analogy. This is not a hyperbole. This is true, and it's a fact, observable, repeatable, all around us. And like the Bible says in Genesis, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Genesis 1:3. What this verse in the Bible is telling us is that when God created the world, one of the very first things that He created was the light. Now, I'm not here to preach or, do any of those dogma-based things. My purpose and intention of these videos is to show you tangible evidence of our search for the truth, of the keys to the truth. Okay? So, right now, we're living in a world where pretty much everything we've been led to believe is false. Everything that we've been told is a lie. And I'm not talking 10% is a lie, 20%, 50%, not even 90%. All of it is a lie. You see, they have us going in circles thinking light is something or a thing. Light is not even a thing. I'm not even going to attempt to define what light is. Although I might skip around it, I might dance around it, I'm not going to pretend to tell you what light really is. I'm going to talk to you about the power of the light. And as you can see on some of these videos, people are doing all these experiments with Fresnel lenses. What's a Fresnel lens? It's a focusing device that focuses the power of the sunlight precisely. So this is a compendium of sorts of what these Fresnel lenses can do. And it's not the actual lens doing anything, it's the light doing it. It's the focused light from the sunlight through the Fresnel lens focus that can melt down pretty much anything. Here we have some images of molten rocks. I call this one the cinnamon roll. It's in an area I've visited in the past, and as you can see clearly, the rocks look like melted dough, as you would use to make a cinnamon roll. Let's talk about a few more things here. What a Fresnel lens is. So here we go. Fresnel lens, depending on the size and the arrangement of the lens, you can focus it to get temperatures above 500 degrees Celsius, even upwards of 1,000 degrees Celsius, and even more. So what does that mean? It means basically that the sunlight can melt anything. Okay? So going back to the beginning, is light a wave or a particle? This is a false dichotomy. This is another lie. This is another trap of the mind. They're trying to tell you, hey, it's either aliens or it's outer space, or they don't want us to contact them, or they do, or they're everywhere, or they're not. Well, the answer is there is no outer space. So now with the light, we have kind of the same thing. A false dichotomy. Is it a wave or is it a particle or is it both? Well, the answer more than likely, if these people are lying all the freaking time, it's going to be like it's neither. It's neither one of them. And as you can see, light has the power to burn through everything. I'm not talking about fire. I'm talking about light. So, there is a relationship, but there's also a difference. Light can generate fire. Light can burn through paper. We all know that. Light can burn through skin. It can also burn through wood. But, given the proper circumstances, it can melt metals. It can melt pretty much any metal out there. And you're talking about temperatures, again, that are higher than you would get in a crucible, higher than you would get with anything, with gas, with propane, with a propane tank. You can melt copper even. You can melt steel. So the power that you can get from the sun, given enough focus. Why do I quote you these verses from the Bible? Why do I go to them? It's because we're trying to jump to a level of understanding that might have been there before all the lies, So, of course, yes, there's been tampering. There's been censoring of the Bible throughout times. There's been books taken out. But think of it more of as a top secret dossier. See, a top secret brief, like beyond top secret, that just fell into your lap and it's full of all this knowledge. And then you compare it to actual experiments, proof, evidence, and then you can see, there might be something to it. So if you're watching all these videos, right? If you're seeing, oh my gosh, the light of the sun by itself, without anything else, can burn through anything, can melt through anything, can destroy anything. There's nothing that can stand the power of the light. As a fact, as an observable and repeatable phenomenon, then you're like blown away. Your mind is blown away. You're like, this is exactly what those old dusty scriptures are telling us, that, had, a few years ago, until a few years ago, for some of us, they had very little meaning. I'll be honest with you. They had very little, credibility, if you will. But now, when you start observing the world around you, there's so much information, there's so much misinformation. But if you're honest with yourself, if you're thinking critically, if you're trying to dig deep and open your eyes to the truth, try to find the truth wherever it may lead you without any preconceived notions. I know that's pretty much impossible, but you start chipping away. You start chipping away at the lies. You start chipping away at your assumptions, which are, again, preconceived notions, constructs of the mind, prisons of the mind that have been handed down to you generation through generation, and they're not necessarily truthful. So when you go back and you jump a few generations wherever these texts might have originated, and you see, oh my gosh, I'm seeing these experiments of the actual Fresnel lenses and the power of the light. That's where you find real knowledge. That's where you find revelation, personal revelation between the source. You can call it God, you can call it the truth, you can call it the creator, you can call him, her, it, whatever you want, but it's the same thing. It's what creates this universe, this reality, this what we're witnessing. So it's right there before us. So if you start noticing these things, okay, well, if light's not a wave, it's not a particle, then what is it? Well, I don't know. I may never find out. I may never understand it, but I'm sure as heck gonna try to discover what it is, what it can do, what its power really is. And what is it? Is its relationship with matter? How is it possible that something that's non-material, ethereal, like light, can overcome, destroy, move around, dismantle, disintegrate something that's hard, tangible, physical, heavy, dense? How is that possible? That's contradicting every single Newtonian, Copernican view of our, cosmovision, of what life really is, of what this universe is, of what this reality is, what this world is made of. So we go there, it's going to take you into the holographic realm of things. Is our existence holographic? Are we in a hologram? Are the things around us holograms? And what does that even mean, right? So, I mean, you can take something hard as stone, something hard as steel, that, it can cut off your finger, it can bleed you, it can kill you, it can cut off your hand, it can end you, okay? And you have something, oh, so light, such as light, so intangible, it just bounces around, it comes on and off, there's day, there's night, and that little seemingly insignificant phenomenon, that something which is not a thing, it's more of a how, it's more of a with what, that little light, which to some of us seems quite insignificant, can burn through anything, absolutely anything, through even brick. It can melt brick, it can melt stone, it can melt mountains, it can melt just everything and anything you throw at it. It can even melt ceramic. And you're talking about, you're going up on the realms of the most resistant materials known to man, which are going to be in the 3,000 Celsius degrees range. You're talking about tungsten, ceramics, things like that. And if you get that Fresnel lens, focusing enough, wide enough, it's going to just burn through anything, absolutely, that you can throw at it. So what is the universe made of? What are we made of? What is this thing in front of us, that computer, this phone, this car that you're riding in, this TV that you're watching, this chair that you're sitting in? What is it really made of? Why can't your hand go through it? How can light go through glass, but then it can't seemingly not go through a wall? Well, maybe it's not focused enough, because if it is focused enough, it can burn through walls, it can burn through buildings, it can burn down mountains. So this might be one of the phenomena that in the past or in the future could possibly have melted down the mountains. And so say the scriptures again. Here you'll see a few slides where I'm actually putting some of these scriptures in there from different books and different walks of life. So I'm not just going to tell you, hey, the Bible's the only truth. It might have, the things in there that you need if you truly understand them and believe them. But then you can also correlate your position in the universe with other sources of knowledge, ancient knowledge. Why the ancient knowledge again? Because you're trying to jump through the enemy noise, through the enemy fire, where they're trying to tell you all these lies and make you believe all these things that are nonsense, with all the fake science, which is not real, okay? For something to be real, it has to be observable, demonstrable, and repeatable. You can add a few other things in there. But if some fake guru or some fake scientist is telling you, hey, ours is the only truth and we're the only ones that have access to the oracle because we have this fancy, expensive apparatus, and here's your CGI, so you can believe it, and we'll just shove it down your throat so you can, blindly follow us. That's blind faith, which is no good. So here I'm not talking to you about blind faith, which is the opposite of what's in the scriptures, of what's in the Vedas. what's in the Bhagavad Gita, what's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, what's in the Bible, what's in the Old Testament, what's in the New Testament, what's in the old mystic writings, you see? If anything, and I'm not attempting to define light, but if anything, it's not a thing, it's not an it, it's not a something, it's a how. It's a what with, it's a where with, it's a with how, right? It's how we perceive the world is through the light. How we perceive and sense the world, how we go about understanding the world around us. It's more of a medium. It's more of a playground. So you have light, and you have, from it, you can gain perception. You can gain sensory input. You can get understanding. And this is all in the writings from all the different ancient walks of life. From light, you can gain awareness. You can gain consciousness. So light equals perception, equals sensing, equals understanding, equals awareness, equals consciousness. And what are we if not self-awareness, self-consciousness? That's what we are, if you want to go there. And I'm just skimming through the surface. I'm not diving deep into it. I'm not telling you that it's a definitive definition, but I am telling you that light equals consciousness at the end of the day. And that universal consciousness, that universal creativeness is the source, is God, is whatever name you want to give it. It's beyond any names. But that light that you're seeing here on the screen, that light that's giving you the sense of perception, is not a thing. It's a power. And so some of you might be like, what do you mean it's a power? Yeah, it's a power. This universe is supernatural. There is nothing natural about this universe, and I'm going to say that over and over again, and you should too. There is nothing natural about the universe we live in. There is nothing natural about the world we live in. There is absolutely nothing natural about the reality we live in. Everything is, in fact, supernatural, magical. Oh, but I can repeat something. It has certain rules. Magic has rules too. Creation has rules too. So, I'll do videos on all of these other subjects. I don't want to, get distracted. This video is going to be long enough on just this one single subject about the power of light. So we can say for certain that light is powerful. Light is very powerful. Light can even be said to be all powerful. Why can we say that? Because nothing, no object, no material density can withstand the power of the light. Period. End of story. So light is a superpower. It absolutely is. We just take it for granted. That's the human condition of our lack of humility, which again, the ancient scriptures cite over and over and over again, the importance of humility. God out there, he pretty much has nothing to look up to. He doesn't admire pretty much anything because he has anything. He makes everything. So he's all powerful. But the one thing that all these scriptures from all these different philosophies agree on that God admires is humility. I do apologize sincerely if at any point I come off as arrogant or non-humble. It is not my intention. It is not why I'm doing these videos. I'm doing these videos because I feel compelled to do them. There is a spiritual awakening going on. All of you have felt it. If you're watching this video, you're either on the right track or you felt the spiritual awakening within you and around you. There's some people that are just dead asleep, pretty much never going to wake up, the majority. But a huge percentage is waking up at a faster rate than ever before. We're all waking up. So there is definitely something in the environment, in the air, in the light that is giving us this understanding. And we're supposed to share it, right? It's not like, oh, I'm going to learn these truths and then I'm just going to hoard them and sit on them and not going to share them with other people who might, investigate them further, take them further, share them with other people as well, other souls, other sentient beings that can be useful for them, for whatever they might be going through in their lives. So a little light Sunday reading here for you from Micah 1:3-4. Look, the Lord is coming from his dwelling place. He comes down and treads on the heights of the earth. The mountains melt beneath him and the valleys split apart like wax before the fire, like water rushing down a slope. And we can see the evidence of this all around us. It's not just a dead text. It's a scripture that's alive with meaning, that's alive with some things that are observable, phenomenon that you can look around you and you can see, oh my gosh, that mountain looks like it was liquid at some point. That rock looks like it was liquid, sometime, somewhere long ago. And then, it got solidified again later on. That thing looks like a rolled up, cinnamon bun or cinnamon roll, whatever it may be. The evidence is all around us. All my, friends from the mud fossils, all the people that investigate the mud fossils, the mud floods, the ancient civilizations. There is evidence all around us in the mountains, in the buildings, in the archaeology, and in the scriptures that says that at some point in time there were events where things melted like wax, and it was due quite possibly to the power of the light, to the power of the sunlight, which derives its power from God. So it would be asinine of anybody to say, oh, the Fresnel lens or the magnifying glass is what's melting, the steel pot. It's odd. That's just an additive. That's just an additional thing that's helping it focus. But the power is coming from the sun, right? And the same thing could be said for the sun. The power is not coming from the sun. The sun's not a ball of fire. It's not made of helium or hydrogen. We don't even know what the sun is, but I can tell you, it's not the source of its power. The sun is beyond our comprehension by definition. That's why science is by definition fake. It's pretending to tell you a why. It's pretending to give you a meaning, but it can never do that because the sun's out of our reach. You can't even touch it. You can never even get there. It's beyond our dimension. Think of any video game where you see the background and you cannot interact with it. The sun can interact with us, but we cannot interact with it. We cannot influence it, but it can influence us. Here's another text. So some slight reading. Psalm 97. The Lord reigns, let the earth be glad. Let the distant shores rejoice. Clouds and thick darkness surround him. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of his throne. Fire goes before him and consumes his foes on every side. His lightning lights up the world. The earth sees and trembles. The mountains melt like wax. Read that again. The mountains melt like wax before the Lord of all the earth. The heavens proclaim his righteousness, and the people see his glory. Again, I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not one of these crazy, fanatic, religious people. But, this text right here, wherever it came from, but we know where it came from, the Bible, is telling us how the mud floods happened. How some of these past apocalypses happened. Look at this hard metal lock. A padlock. You couldn't break this with your hands, could you? If you looked at it, would it melt? No, it wouldn't. If you scream at it, would it melt? If you, Tell it harsh language, would it melt? No. But if you shine light on it, it will melt. If that's not fantastic, supernatural, and magical, I do not know what is. So again, we live in a strange, strange place where reality is stranger than fiction, than any fiction that you can come up with. Our perception is so important. Our consciousness, the light in our eyes, the light in our understanding can burn a hole, can shine through any obstacle. You can overcome any obstacle. You can overcome any difficulty. You can overcome any darkness. You can overcome any density. You can overcome any obstacle in your life today if you go with the power of the light, if you harness the power of the light, the power of the consciousness, the power of the divine, the power of the understanding, of the awareness. Just think of it. Where you're trying to solve a puzzle, you need to have that light of understanding to be able to solve the puzzle. And that can go for anything. If you're facing hardship, if you're going through rough family times right now, if you're going through a rough economical situation, go to the light, go to the understanding. Now we have this other more obscure text which you can read here for yourself from the Sefer Ezekiel. The Sefer Ezekiel is ancient mystical text which mentions the time of Adam, and it's a book that was apparently written by the angel Ezekiel and given to Adam so he would survive in the world after he was kicked out of paradise. And here Adam says he remembered and recorded when the mountains melted like wax, and the sea went forth as hoarfrost, and the sea became a desert wilderness. This is exactly what the Vedic Puranas say, the Puranas, Puranas, Vedic Puranas. They talk about the churning of the sea and so many other mysterious things that I'm going to cover in other videos. So remember, if you're going through the good times, if you're going through the bad times, there is nothing that can stand the power of the light. The light is all powerful. All it takes is a certain level of focus. Listen to that, a certain level of focus, a certain level of intensity of the shining of the light, so that you can gain that understanding and that awareness, that consciousness that can burn a hole down the middle of any discomfort, any obstacle, any sickness in your life. If you're going through disease, if you're going through, a rough patch in your marriage, if you're recently divorced, if you've recently lost somebody that you love, if you missed out on a promotion. Again, I'm not preaching here. I'm just telling you what it is, the way things are. You're seeing that light melting hard metal. It's not even touching it. What is it doing to it? What is heat? Okay, it's melting, it's transferring energy, it's transferring heat. Well, define heat. Define energy. Oh, well, it's these little particles and the atoms and it's shaking them. We're not even made up of atoms or molecules. Listen, atom is a word that comes from a name of an Egyptian god. So again, it's all that is fake. Molecules don't exist. Again, it comes from the word Moloch, which is a pagan deity of devil worship and sacrifice, human sacrifice. So molecules and atoms don't exist. So I'm sorry if that sounds like crazy talk, but the truth is going to sound like crazy talk. Where do we get that atoms and molecules exist? They don't. All you get is CGI. Have you ever looked at an atom? Have you ever looked at a molecule? Things exist and they're made of something, or are they? Let's go back to the scriptures here. 2 Corinthians 4:4, the God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers so that they cannot see the light of the gospel that displays the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. So many things in there. Ezekiel 1:27, I saw that from what appeared to be his waist he looked like glowing metal, as if full of fire, and that from there down he looked like fire, and brilliant light surrounded him. In his light he had 7 stars, and his face shone like the sun. So here we have so many things, and you're gonna notice how all these scriptures from like thousands of miles apart, thousands of years apart, are saying the same exact thing. Okay? The light of God, the light of Christ, the light that shines through everything and anything, and it's emanating from him, from this source that's creating the light. So when you turn on a switch, when you turn on your computer, when you turn on a light bulb, when you see the sun, it's not creating the light, it's just manifesting the light, but the source of the light itself is something else. You see, it's, and I'm going to rip this off from another creator that you can see here on YouTube. He had this great example, great analogy of ordering a pizza. You order a pizza through your phone, it arrives, it knocks on your door, you have the pizza. The phone's not making the pizza. The phone's just helping you manifest the pizza, right? But the pizzeria is the one making the pizza. You're just calling on it. So when the sun's calling on the light and it's transmitting the light. Here we have something really important from the Bhagavad Gita. Let me read it. Here, just read this. Listen to this. The Bhagavad Gita. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. So they're talking about the power of the light that's coming from the sun. So imagine a Fresnel lens that's maybe a yard by a yard squared, or 2 yards by 1 yard. It can pretty much melt through anything, right? Now imagine if you had a Fresnel lens that was the size of a football field. How powerful would that be? The power of hundreds of thousands of suns. If one sun can melt through that, now imagine 10 suns. 10 to the power of 2, 10 to the power of 3. Now imagine 10 to the power of 10, 10 to the power of 100. These scriptures are conveying some knowledge, some truth to us. And I'm going to tell you, these ancient scriptures are a key to the truth, just like the name of this channel. I'm not going to tell you what the truth is. I don't know what the truth is. But I'm sure as heck trying to find out and find my way to it. You see, and that's what life is about. Learning and growing, as a soul, as a spiritual being, as a physical being, all the adversities, all the challenges, and finding your way back to the truth. But the game is rigged, and the game is really, really hard, and it's made that way. God likes it that way. That's why He allows so much grief and heartache, and it's not easy. So much adversity, the adversary. God allows it because it plays right into His game. He has the tough love for you. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to make it easy, and I'm going to do this for you, and I'm going to do that for you. No, you're going to have to put in the work, baby. Okay? You want it, you come and get it. That's how things work. That's why it's called karma. Karma means work. We're living in karma loka. Karma loka means the place of work. So here we have some more melted buildings, ancient buildings, melted mountains. You can see it in the texts. You can see it in real life. So here, listen to this other verse, this other shloka in the Bhagavad Gita. It says, He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge, and He is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. What more there is to say? What more is there to say? It's giving you everything right here. I'm telling you again, these scriptures are like a super, ultra, top secret, Mission Impossible brief, a top secret dossier that you have been given access to and you don't even know. So that's the strategy of the evil ones. It's like, oh my gosh, we can't hide it. We couldn't destroy it. We tried for years. So let's go the other way. Let's do, hundreds of different versions. Let's do hundreds of different translations. We'll do all these psyops so people think it's fake. We'll, throw out some crazy theories, and we'll try to tell them that science is real. We'll try to tell them that astronomy is real. We're going to try and tell them that we have these microscopes, electron tunnel microscopes, where we can see atoms and we can see molecules. You can't. They're not, because they're not there. Okay? If you haven't seen it with your own eyes, it's not there. Period. Okay? Get a regular microscope, get a beautiful microscope, get a really expensive microscope, and see what you can see. That's not CGI. Get a camera, get a P900, P1000, whatever P you want. See the stars, what they really are, Look at all this. I've been out with my Fresnel lens. I've corroborated this video, so I'm not just going from what these people are doing here on YouTube. I've gone out with my Fresnel lens. I even burned my hand with one of those little caps on the sodas because it was so freaking hot, and I was burning through wood. The sand was even churning. Again, some more magical scriptures. Another verse right here from the Bhagavad Gita. O son of Bharata, Bharata is what they call India. As the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the being, loving entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. So this is giving you that equation. Light equals illumination, equals awareness, equals consciousness within you. How do you think you think? How do you think you understand? It's a magical process. It may have rules, but rules do not make something less magical, okay? They do not make something natural. That's the worst misnomer in the entire world. Nature, natural. There's no such thing as nature. There's no such thing as natural. I'm going to go even a step further and tell you that light is God. And right now, you're sitting in the presence of God. And I know it sounds like crazy talk, but you need to start seeing straight, and you need to start, coming to the truth and opening your eyes, because you're already way on your way, where we all are. That light in front of you, your screen, the sun, the light bulb, the light, the medium, is in fact part of the body of God. And the knowledge that your mind has, that your soul has, it's a gift from God. It's on loan from God. How else do you think you remember? Oh, well, it's the synapses in my brain, and it's the cells. You don't even think with your brain. You think with your pineal crystals inside your skull. Your brain is more of a reverberance. Think of it as a loudspeaker. Your left hemisphere, right hemisphere. They're helping the transceiver that is in fact your pineal in the middle, okay? Which of all things has optical sensors. Go figure. So your pineal senses light inside your brain. Wow, if that's not mind-blowing, I don't know what is, right? So not only can you see with your eyes, you can see with your pineal. Oh my God. Okay, here's some additional impressive scripture from the book of Enoch, 1 Enoch 1:6. And the high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall melt like wax before the flame. And these mountains, which thine eyes have seen, the mountain of iron, and the mountain of copper, and the mountain of silver, and the mountain of gold, and the mountain of soft metal, and the mountain of lead, all these shall be in the presence of the elect one, aka Christ, aka Kalki Avatar, as wax before the fire, and like the water which streams down from above, and they shall become powerless before his feet. The book of Enoch, talking about mud floods, and it's telling you how it goes down. It's telling you what's up. It's telling you how it happens. It's confirming all your evidence, all the observable evidence of the melted mountains, of the mud floods, of the mud fossils, melt like wax. before the Lord, before the elect one. Okay? It's telling you, like, without a reason of a doubt. There's no if, ands, or buts. Just straight up telling you, there's going to be a reckoning. And there was already a few ones in the past already. Okay? Some more scripture. John 1, in him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never overcome it. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. When Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Again, Christ telling you, he is the light. And he's not just, some ethereal light that's coming. He's the light that you're looking at right now. He's the light that's helping you think on loan, helping you feel, helping you imagine, helping you create, helping you live your life, helping you overcome those obstacles, overcome that illness, overcome that grief, so that you can succeed, you can be fulfilled. Again, bask in the light and know that God is looking at you every single minute of the day and of the night, because there's light even in the darkness. There's no complete darkness ever. God is looking at you. You're in the presence of God every single minute, every single second of the day. So just chew on that one, okay? Chew on that one. How would you behave? How would you change your life? How would you live your life? And I'm no example to follow. I'm just telling you what's being revealed to me, and it is one of the keys to the truth. That light is understanding and light is God. And you are right now looking at him, not just looking at him, looking through him. And he is looking through you, and you are in his presence at this very moment. So why would you tell him if you are indeed in his presence? We're just too stupid to realize it. That's the bottom line. We're not perceptive enough that we're in the presence, and all these other higher beings that are not as high as God, of course, like angels and other entities, they're looking at you, and they know that you're in the presence of God, and you're acting out and doing all these stupid things all the time. And, well, they're like face-palming themselves, being like, oh my gosh, he's doing that, he's doing this. Well, they've some of them failed at some point too. So it is a huge challenge being a human being. It's the ultimate challenge. That's why it was giving to the heir to the throne of heaven. So I'm not coming from the religious side. Believe me, you can see from my videos, I'm like so analytical. I go to the details, I go to the evidence, and you can too. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I hope it helps you in your life. Please share your thoughts, your comments, subscribe, share it, like, and all that jazz. God is with you all the time. You just have to let him in, and let that light work through you, and it can overcome absolutely anything, any physical thing. There is no matter that's hard enough or dense enough. I've shown you. You've seen the evidence. Light can destroy, overcome, purify everything and anything, because the light is the focused power of God, and if it has the sharp enough focus in a single point of understanding, it's all powerful. And that is, my friend, the power of the light. God bless you. Have a beautiful day. I hope you can, with these videos, start seeing God. Hey, Alex, I've never seen God. I've never heard him. He doesn't exist. Well, oh my gosh, dude. If you have a little 3-year-old and you take a toy away and you put it back, it kind of disappeared and reappeared into his, level of understanding. As far as he's concerned, a little 3-year-old, a little 2-year-old, a little 4-year-old, those things pop in and out of existence. And that's pretty much our level of understanding. Okay? So don't take my word for it. Do your research. Open your mind. Open your soul to the possibilities. because we've been kept in the dark for long enough, and we have to wake up, okay? The light is all powerful. The light is on your side if you allow it to. If you allow it to focus through you, you being the Fresnel lens can succeed in anything you set your mind to, okay? With the power of the light. Get out of the darkness right now, and go to the light that is all around you all the time. You are in the presence of God. Every time you look at the mirror, every time you think of something, every time you see something, you are in the presence of God. So watch your thoughts, watch your behavior. We all should. You know, I'm talking to myself more than anything. So again, let that be noted. You know, this is also this. We are always a work in progress. Going back again to the challenge of being a human being, you have a very limited band of awareness, and you're supposed to work within that constraint with all these crazy psychopaths, you know, trying to fool you. So it's like you're inside a washing machine, and you're like on the spin cycle, you know, on high, and you've got a gun pointed at your head, and you're choking. I mean, you're underwater and you can't breathe, and this and that and the other. You know, at the same time, you're being electrocuted. So life is really hard, and it's meant to be that way. But again, if you have the right tools, if you have the right playbook, you see what the evil has is a playbook. And they give you all these things. Oh, you're going to believe in molecules. You're going to believe in particles. You're going to believe in this stupid nonsense, other stupid nonsense. We're going to show you CGI. We're going to show you this. We're going to show you that. We're going to fool you. So you think, oh, you're just physical. You're deterministic. You're going to die, blah, 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 blah. You're limited. You're nothing. You're sad. You're lonely, blah, blah. All these things that the dark, you know, wants to tell you. But like I've shown you, I've demonstrated in this small, short video, is that the light is more powerful than anything. So believe that, research that, know that, and you know, make the most of it. Again, God bless you, and let the power of the light shine in you, within you, and through you.